Hey coding owls, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about arrow functions in JavaScript, one of the most used feature. It allows you to concisely write your regular function expressions with very ease, and the syntax is very easy. Let's straight away jump into it. I use arrow functions. Let us ask ChatGPT. So when I did that, it said it has concise syntax. So the syntaxes are very concise. You don't write the traditional functions. We don't need to worry about this keyword binding when working with arrow functions, as they are not connected, or they are not putting into the context of our object. So we don't need to worry about that. We have got the concept of implicit returns, no argument binding, and it is very much suitable for functional programming. And we do not have any naming conflict happening here. First one. Why? Because they are anonymous functions. They can be used anywhere. So there is no problem of having two functions with the same name because they don't have the name. Yeah. So let's jump into this and start looking at this practically. Create a file. Let us call it as arrow functions.js. And in my arrow functions.js, what I do is first let us write a very simple function. Let's say function say hello, and inside this say hello, I say console log hello to arrow functions. Okay. As I have written my traditional function, let us convert this into an arrow function. So converting a normal function to an arrow function, very easy. I'll show you the simple tricks. What you do, you don't need the keyword function. You don't need the name of the function. You simply copy this from here. Okay. I copied from the parenthesis, pasted it here. Now between the parenthesis and the starting curly brace, you need to put up a fat arrow. Now there are two types of arrow everywhere. One is called as an arrow, which is just a hyphen and a greater than symbol, and with an equal to and a greater than symbol, it becomes a fat arrow. JavaScript uses fat arrow. Other programming languages like Scala, they use normal arrow. So here you see this has actually been converted into an arrow function. Now, if I want to call the function above, how do I do that? I'll say hello bracket semicolon. Okay, let's try to run this. So I say node space arrow functions.js. See, it says welcome to arrow functions, but this is not working. And how do I? Because this is just a function which is defined. You either need to take it into a variable. Now, arrow functions can be assigned to a variable simply like this. How? Let's say const my first arrow is equal to. So you need to understand this is the variable to which I have assigned this. This is not the part of my arrow function. Arrow functions can be assigned to a variable, or it can be passed as an input to another function, which are also called as an higher order functions. So here what I'm doing, I am assigning it to my variable of first arrow. So this is not actually the part of my arrow function. In fact, I'm just assigning it to a variable so I can reuse it. So if I want to call it now, I can say my first arrow bracket, and you will see the same output twice. Yeah. Why? Because this was how it was called. Now let's jump in and see how you can use arrow functions more. Okay. Let's start with a simple example where I have a function which is called as square me. Okay. And I take a single variable here of number. And I return number multiplied by number. Okay. Now, if I want to convert this into an arrow function, simple procedure. What is the procedure? You know, right? Copy from the parenthesis, okay, paste it, and put a arrow between the parenthesis and the curly brace. You might feel, what I did, I just copied it from this function, I converted into another function, things are exactly same. How is it more useful to me? First thing, now let's start optimizing it. First thing is, if your arrow function have a single parameter, you can skip the round braces. I am not a big fan of this. Why? Because it breaks your code readability. Always use the round brackets or the parentheses, because it will denote that this is the parameter. Yeah. So what I do, I can copy this. I can simply say I don't need this number brackets C. This is fine. No error means this is perfectly fine. Let's optimize this more. So if your function contain a single statement, okay, we can get rid of round your curly braces and the return keyword, both of them together. You cannot just skip one and use another. That is not going to be there. They are either going to be always together or absent. So now what about this statement? If this statement what we are going to use, is an executable statement. For example, like console.log, it will just execute. But if the statement is a value, it will be returned. So it precisely return you the value. So end iteration, how it would be, see, number, arrow function, and I will simply say, because I am not using the pair of curly brace, I can also skip the return statement. This is how I write a function to square, and then let's say const arrow square is equal to number. But again, as I told you, I am not a big fan of skipping the round brackets because it does not let you know whether this is a function or not. I always prefer keeping this value as it is. So this is how you can write, you can easily, like, you started from here, and this is how you're converting an arrow function, simple way to work around it. How about, let's do one practical arrow function here. So this is my arrow, this is a normal function. How do I convert this? Again, the same step. You copy from the parenthesis, paste it, pass the arrow function. Now, because we are having the pair of curly braces, we only have, first thing, we only have a single line of statement. I can skip the pair of curly braces and also the return statement, and this is how it will be converted into a normal arrow function. On the other hand, when I have a function like this, which says what, I have a calculation, it has 3-4 lines of code. If I want to convert this into an arrow function, what do? I copy this, same process, but this time, because my number of lines are more than one, I cannot skip the pair of curly brace, I cannot skip the return statement. We have to write it. This is how you write your arrow function. I hope you have understood the basic working of arrow functions. Now we will be using arrow functions in our next part, where we start working with higher order functions. They play a very important role when it comes to the higher order function. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel for more such content.